23 minutes past 9 is the time. When was the last time you took a taxi? Should be a bumper time of year for cabbies, but the industry bodies say that the sector is on the verge of collapse after business shrank to about a fifth of normal levels.
The GMB union is calling on the Chancellor to provide more help for self-employed drivers. Our business correspondent, Katie Austin, has more.
This is Selfridges on the right. I've started to do Christmas light tours. It's been a lovely thing to do.
London black cab driver Dale is trying to salvage something from what she describes as her worst year ever.
The theatres, the pubs, the restaurants, the nightclubs, all of that shut, all the festivals. Even people going to work, they didn't even have that because people were working from home. So that was really bad as well. We literally only had supermarkets and hospitals to hang around to try to get work.
She has had a self-employment grant, but still had to take a job at a supermarket.
It's got this brand new electric taxi, which has costed me like £70,000. I got it in February, and then in March there was a lockdown. So now I'm having to work kind of 7 days a week, 5 days doing my deliveries, 2 days doing my taxi work, just to make ends meet.
And it's not just cabbies in London who've suffered from a huge drop in business this year.
It's a national problem.
Here in Reading, the taxi drivers have also been having a really tough time.
When the lockdown came, I'll be honest, we were down to zero. Normally at this time of the year it'd be very, very busy. You would have your commuters, your shoppers, and obviously this year we're not going to have that. We're not going to have Christmas Eve, not New Year's Eve party, nothing like that.
It's thought only about a fifth of drivers are still out working on the rank, with most having taken delivery jobs instead. Asif says they need more help to make up for their lost earnings.
Taxi drivers, for example, in Reading, we've got to change our cabs at some point. There should be money made available.
The National Private Hire and Taxi Association says last year more than 500,000 people were working in the industry across England, Scotland and Wales. Of those, 90% were self-employed. It estimates the sector lost £85 million a week during the first national lockdown. One industry group worries many drivers will be forced out for good, leaving vulnerable customers with fewer options.
It really is such an important and integral part of the transport infrastructure. Without it, you're going to have ghost towns around the UK.
Taxi businesses as well as individual drivers are suffering.
A partition in the middle.
As is private hire firm a few miles from Reading Station specialises in corporate accounts. Conferences and airport transfers just haven't been happening.
Right now should be the busiest time of the year. Evenings really booked out with the parties. They're not going anywhere, to be honest.
Az says he couldn't get a cash grant for the business.
To keep up the rent, insurance, the licensing fee, we did have to sell quite a few cars to make up the difference.
A government spokesperson said a generous and wide-ranging package of support had been provided, including for the taxi sector. It said as well as grants for the self-employed, there were loans, tax deferrals and mortgage holidays. Drivers like Dale are trying to stay optimistic, hoping their fortunes will turn around. Katie Austin, BBC News.
Time now is 9:27.
You're watching Breakfast, of course. We're on BBC One until 10. That's when Matt Tebbutt takes over in the Saturday.